Hey guys, so this is the video for Liang Euphoria, and if you should build or should pull for her. So first of all, there is so many things to talk about when it comes to Liang Yue. Her kit is really packed, but here I want to talk about is the buff that she has. The first one here is Guardian Resolve, and then the second one is Nuo Dance. Okay, so Guardian Resolve initially, every stack provide damage taken minus 0.8%, stackable 30 times, so you can get up to 24% damage reduction. But now with her Euphoria, you get 24% damage dealt as well, and also 12% incantation might. As you play, normally you should be able to get high stack or even up to 30 stack for Guardian Resolve, so don't overthink. Just play her rotation normally and it should be fine. For Nuo Dance, first of all, Banish Evil and Bane of All Evil will deal additional reality damage. I will do the calculation later. And up to a maximum of 8 stack. Each stack has its own duration. And you are able to generate these stacks by using her skill. Skill 1 or Skill 2 will give 1 stack. And when an ally, including herself, allies, does a follow-up attack, gain 1 stack of Nuo Dance. And that can only trigger up to 5 times. So let's say if you, some character, including herself, does 5 follow-up attack, and then you use her S1 and S2, you can get up to 7 stack that round. But the second round, then you can just gain 1 more stack. But by the third round, the first 7 stack will deplete, so you have to get it again. So basically, you can imagine at the start of the round, you may not have the maximum 8 stack of Nuo Dance. So this actually does indicate if you want to use some of Liang Yue's major attack, do it at the end of the round rather than at the start. Then she will get more stack of Nuo Dance and then will do more damage. When there are 4 stacks of Nuo Dance, Banish Evil is now considered a follow-up attack. Okay, so it will do a lot of damage. When there are 8 stacks of Nuo Dance, extra damage granted by Nuo Dance is now double because every stack of Nuo Dance grants 5% more damage based on the base damage. So now it is double, so it's 10% instead of 5%. Okay, in addition to that, Banish Evil and Bane of All Evil are affected by Incantation Might by additional of 40%. So for example, if Liang Yue have 10% Incantation Might due to Nuo Dance, then now she have 14% Incantation Might. So additional 40% of whatever that she has. And the next thing to talk about is Arise Liang. That is the summon that she summoned, and then your spell dog will change. You will have this green zone and the red zone. So green zone basically extend the buff and debuff that you inflict or you apply on your allies, additional 1 more round. Okay, so if a debuff is supposed to last for 2 rounds, now it lasts for 3 rounds. In the red zone, it will rank up. Okay, so if you use an incantation that is rank 1, now it is rank 2. If it's rank 2, now it is rank 3. If you use ultimate, no rank up, stays the same. Okay, this zone can overlap. Once this zone overlap, you get both the effect. So if you use a debuff in the mixed zone, I call it as the mixed zone, then the debuff will be additional 1 round and it will be a rank up version of that debuff. Okay, so some important incantation, especially Liang Yue's second skill, her S2, you really want to bring it into the mixed zone. And while Arise Liang is active, Banish Evil and Bane of All Evil will deal additional reality damage equal to pre-Euphoria Arise Liang duration, which is 3. Unless you have higher portrait, then the duration is longer, 4. So at 3, which means times 15%, you are getting 45% additional reality damage. While Arise Liang status is active, after actively casting a Liang enhanced incantation, you will gain 1 justice and 1 peace talent. So just now I mentioned about the red zone, the green zone. If it's the green zone, you get justice talent. If it's, you get peace talent. If it's the red zone, you get justice talent. If it's a mixed zone, you get half of each. Okay, it's 0.5. It's considered that way. And once you hit 6 justice talent or peace talent, or it can be like 2 justice, 4 peace, 3 peace, 3 justice, all of that will trigger a follow-up attack, a AoE follow-up attack, which is Bane of All Evil. So if there are more Justice talent, which is more red than green, you will trigger Bane of All Evil Justice. If there's more green than red, then you will trigger Bane of All Evil Peace. If it's the same amount, then you will trigger Bane of All Evil Balance. For every one Justice talent or Peace talent consumed, grant one stack of Guardian Resolve to all allies. Again, don't worry too much about this one. You don't have to micromanage Guardian Resolve. Don't worry about it. When Arise Qiangliang ends, all Justice talent and Peace talents are cleared. So last time, that is the problem. Because you are not able to sustain Qiangliang all the time, there will be a 1 round gap. But with her Euphoria, you don't have to worry about it. Arise Qiangliang will be active every round. However, there will be a gap where it falls. And then you will automatically reapply by casting her ultimate in the next round. So the Justice talent and Peace talent will still be cleared. Okay, please take note of that. And here is also mentioned, every stack of Swift Resolve that Liang Yue has will be converted to 3 stack of Guardian Resolve. Swift Resolve is from Bane of All Evil Balance. Okay, every time you trigger Bane of All Evil Balance, you get 1 stack of Swift Resolve. I will explain that in more detail in a moment. Okay, for Bane of All Evil Justice, it deals 400, but now it's 765%, considering all the additional relative damage that Liang Yue gets, okay, to all enemy. Her access crit will be converted to crit damage, and upon casting Bane of All Evil Justice, any Peace talent in possession is considered as Justice talent. This means that if you have 2 green, 4 red, then both green will turn into red. So now you have 6 red. So considered as rank 2 incantation, the AoE attack is considered as rank 2. For every 1 Justice talent this attack consumes, this attack gains crit rate plus 5%, crit damage 20%, damage dealt 10%, and 0.5% attack, and will grant 1 stack of Guardian Resolve. So if you have 6 stacks, that will be 30% crit, 120% crit damage, 60% damage dealt, and 3% attack. It's a lot. All of this add together will make her hit really, really hard. And extra 6 Guardian Resolve and access crit to crit damage. Now, for Bane of All Evil Peace, also 765% relative damage. However, is slightly different because the damage multiplier is not crit and crit damage, is penetration rate and those stuff. Okay, basically, if you are using Bane of All Evil Peace, any Justice talent will turn into Peace. So 4 green, 2 red will turn into green. So now you have 6 green. For every Peace talent this attack consume, inflict 1 stance of poison and 3 stack of burn on the target. Inflict 1 stack of plague before attacking and grant 1 stack of Guardian Resolve. So for every instant of poison, this attack deals additional 10% damage. Every stack of burn is 3% penetration rate, and plague is a debuff that reduces damage reduction by 2%. So again, at 6 stack. Do note that if you are having P1, P2, then you have 5 stacks instead of 6 stacks. Okay, 60% damage dealt due to the poison, 54% penetration rate due to burn, 12% damage reduction due to plague, and 6 stacks of Guardian Resolve. And the third one, Bane of All Evil Balance, is lesser damage, only 200% relative, but then increased to 405%. To all enemy, grant 1 stack of Swift Resolve to self. For every Justice talent or Peace talent consumed, grant 1 stack of Guardian Resolve to all allies for 2 rounds. So you should have 3, because if it's balanced, then it should, assuming you have 6 talents, right? So if it's balanced, then it's 3-3. So again, you will get 6 Guardian Resolve. And for Swift Resolve, this is a special buff, and it will require 1 lesser talent in order to trigger Bane of All Evil. So initially you have 6. You need 6 to trigger Bane of All Evil. But if you trigger Bane of All Evil Balance this time, the next one will have 5 talents only. if you trigger it again, as in balance, so 2.5 green, 2.5 red, you can have that 0.5. Remember, if it's in the mix zone, you get 0.5. So if you have 2.5 each, then you will trigger another Bane of All Evil balance, and now you only need 4 talent, and it stops there because the maximum stack for Swift Resolve is only 2 stacks. And now, with the Euphoria, Swift Resolve also increases Bane of All Evil balance damage by 40% relative damage. So 2 stacks, 80%. So means it is 485%. Upon casting Bane of All Evil balance, for every talent consumed, increase incantation might of this attack by 2%, and for each stack of Swift Resolve, further increase incantation might by 5%. So here is what I calculated. 6 talent means you got no Swift Resolve. Then maximum is 12% incantation might. 16.8 because of because of Nuo Dance. If you have 8 stack, then you get the additional 40% incantation might, right? So it will be 16.8 just from Liang Yue herself. If you have 5 talent and 1 Swift Resolve, then it will be 10% incantation might from the talents and 25% from Swift Resolve. Why is that so? 1 stack, right? And it increased by 5%. And you have 5 talent that you consume. So 5 times 5, 25%. Overall, 35%. Then boost it up to 45%, 49% incantation might. If you are at maximum 4 talents, 2 Swift Resolve, that will be total of 48%, and further boost due to Nuo Dance, 67.2% incantation might. For her ultimate, Liang Yue no longer generate an ultimate, and upon reaching 5 Moxie at the start of the round, automatically cast Call of the Thunder. So once Arise Qiangliang is active, that's when you use her ultimate, then it will be 3, 2, 1, and then it ends. And this 3, 2, 1, if you use 2 incantation every round, you will get back 5 Moxie. Then in the 4th round, you will automatically trigger back Call of Thunder. Okay, while in Arise Qiangliang status, casting ultimate also increases the duration of immunity and Guardian Resolve on all allies by 1 round. And Liang Yue gained 2 stacks of Swift Resolve. So this one, you got to trigger it when Arise Qiangliang is active. So let's say you have 3 rounds. So per round you use 2 incantation, right? So that's only 4 Moxie. If you use 1 more incantation or you move incantation, that will be 5. And you will trigger the ultimate while Arise Qiangliang is active. And that gives you 1 more stack of immunity. It's important to consider this because sometimes you want this so that you have longer immunity, especially in a fight that inflicts a lot of debuff on you. With Liang Yue around, you don't have to worry about it. She grants the entire party immunity. Alright, so ultimate deals 600% relative damage, grant immunity for 2 rounds. This is assuming if you cast while Arise Qiangliang is active. So it's still 1 round if you don't cast it while Arise Qiangliang is active. And 6 stacks of Guardian Resolve, okay, for 3 rounds. So enter Qiangliang complete for 3 rounds. So that is the summon, right? That will the one that creates the green and red zone. And if you are already in this status, it's just reapply it, then it's back to 3 rounds, okay? This attack gains plus 100% ultimate might. Skill 1, Bane of All Evil. With all the boosts, it goes up to 900% relative damage. And penetration rate, depending on the rank, 0, 30, and 80%. So at rank 3, it's really crazy. 80% is a lot. Okay, and extend the duration of all allies Guardian Resolve by 1 round. So if you keep triggering this, that's why I say don't worry too much about Guardian Resolve. You will be able to maintain it at high stack. If Qiangliang complete status, actively casting this incantation, grant additional justice talent. So if you use this, if you use this in the red zone, you get 2 justice talent. If you use it in the green zone, it's 1 peace, 1 justice. If you use it in a mixed zone, then it's 1 justice, 1 mix. For skill 2, 1 target buff, grant Guardian Blessing 1, 2, or 3. So Guardian Blessing basically allows you to do a follow-up attack. That is skill 1. So you do skill 1 attack as a follow-up attack, but you need to attack first. So which means it's like you use skill 2, you buff yourself, you use skill 1, you attack, then now Liang Yue will do another attack. but you get additional damage dealt 25%, damage reduction 25%. And also, if you use this actively, you get additional 1 green peace talent. So opposite from Banish Evil, like here, if you use it in the red zone, you get 1 justice and 1 peace. You use it in the green zone, you get double green. Okay, double peace. And the mix zone, 1 green, 1 mix. And then 1 stack of Nuo Dance, same as skill 1. If you use that, you also get 1 stack of Nuo Dance. And here I want to emphasize is that if you use skill 2 in the green zone, you actually get 2 buff, 2 Guardian Blessing buff, which means Liang Yue will actually do 2 follow-up attack instead of 1 follow-up attack. If you use it in the red zone, then it will rank up, so which means you will trigger a rank 2 Banish Evil, a rank 2 skill 1. So now if you put it into the mix zone, you get to do a higher rank version for 2 times. Okay, so the best scenario is that if you can put a rank 2 Liang Yue incantation into the mix zone, you will trigger 2 rank 3 Banish Evil that has 80% you have 80% penetration rate. And that will do like 1,000,000 damage. Okay, it's very interesting. You got to try it out. Alright, as for the rotation, very simple. Now she start off with 3 Moxie. Is that she cast the ultimate for free, right? So first round 1, you use both S1, S2, and then in round 2, you will also ult. Then again, you use S1 and S2. Every round after that, you just keep using S1 and S2, and then she will auto out. So you just have to repeat from round 2 to round 4. It's a typo there, not 2 to 3, but 2 to 4. So I haven't tested back the damage in terms of the peace justice balance. Rather, is it better to trigger more peace, better to trigger more justice, or balance? So that I will cover later in the tip for Liang Yue. Okay, because initially I wanted to include it into this discussion, but yeah, we leave that for later. For her teammate, the best teammate here will be He Guang and Flutterpage with Marsha as a sustain. But just for your information, if you don't have Marsha, Kiparina and Fatutu is fine. Fatutu is even better if you want to go for higher damage, but in terms of sustain, Fatutu at the moment, like if you go for like after 10 million score in mains bulletin, then Fatutu might die. But again, Liang Yue has damage reduction from Guardian Resolve, so they may still sustain pretty well. Okay, so you just got to try it out if you know how far you can push the damage with Fatutu. But I do believe that overall Marsha will still be the better option. Okay, so as for substitute, if you do not have He Guang or Flutterpage, you can also use Mercuria. Mercuria, you can easily hit the cap for cosmic energy because of all the rank up that you can do. And then it's also easier for you to get the rank 3 because of the rank up. So Mercuria can use her rank 3 easier, and then she can get more precast and stuff. So rotation for Mercuria also improves. So yeah, you can use her. 6 is also a very good support for Liang Yue because of the buff extension and the rank up. So you can apply all buff, all debuff from 6 as long as you allocate at least 1 AP per round for 6. Lopera is also very good because of the burn she inflicts, which helps Liang Yue if you are triggering Bane of All Evil piece. But the best thing is that she provides very high crit and crit damage, which if you have Flutterpage, then your damage will really increase quite tremendously. And here's another substitute, which is Anjonala. So if you are using Anjonala, you bound Liang Yue to Anjonala with the damage reduction from Liang Yue and then Anjo further reducing enemies' damage. This team, their sustain is really strong. So, and both of them will be doing a lot of damage. So here, what you want to do is trigger Liang Yue's follow-up attack as much as possible, and then that will build up Anjonala's harmonic stack. Once you hit its stack, both of them will be hitting like a truck. For her Psychube, her own Psychube is the best. So when you are performing extra action, which she does a lot, then if the carrier have actively casted a 1 target incantation, she will gain 2% of crit rate up to 6 times, so 12%. And if she have casted a buff, then she get crit damage plus 4% up to 6 times, so 24%. So overall, it's really good. Just use her own Psychube. As for her portrait, right now with the Euphoria, it's a massive QOL for her, so she definitely, you can play her P0 and it will be very smooth. But again, like I say, do note that the array, not the array, the basically Arise Liang will end and the talent will be wiped off. So do note that that will occur. But if you play properly, if you get the talent sufficiently, you will be able to trigger the follow-up attack before it disappears. So yeah, it doesn't really matter that way. But here, if you really want portrait, definitely P1, P2 is actually a very good option, because first P1, it increases the green and red zone to 4 slot instead of 3. So it's easier for you to get to the mix zone and bring the S2 into the mix zone so she can do even more damage. But yeah, overall, if you have 4 zone, it's just easier to set things up. P2, she gained additional 2 Moxie, so now she has 5, so means now you can just start the round, don't have to do anything, and instantly she will do her ultimate. Okay, and that is also very good. So the number of Justice talent and Peace talent required for Bane of All Evil is decreased to 5. So if you have been watching, I said that you need 6 talents, right? 6 red, 6 green, those things. But now you just need 5. And then you can trigger Bane of All Evil, which means that the damage bonus will be lesser. Because 6 talent give you like 30% crit rate. Now 5 talent, which means is 25% crit rate. So everything else will be lesser. But you will trigger more. So overall, you will still do more damage. P3, I don't really recommend, but it's actually not bad because you get the immunity for additional 1 more round. So now with 3 rounds of immunity, you actually don't have to worry. So if you really want that utility from her, where that entire team just doesn't get debuffed, then you can consider going for P3. Last is P5. So if you just want to max her out, then obviously you can go for P5. But again, one more point here is that Swift Resolve can stack up to 3 times. So you have 5 talent initially. After the first Swift Resolve, 4 talents. After the next one, 3 talents. And then 1 more Swift Resolve, 2 talents. So at 2 talent, if you can keep getting mix zone or green red, red green, you can keep triggering follow-up attack. But again, that follow-up attack will be a weaker version compared to Bane of All Evil Justice, Bane of All Evil Peace, because naturally Bane of All Evil Balance does a little bit lesser damage, or not a little bit, maybe a little bit more. So lastly, if you should pull for her, if you are a meta chaser, then pretty sure you are probably not even watching this, right? If you are a meta slave or you are really like chasing after meta units, you will definitely go for her. If you are not, but you like very fun kit where you have to think about what you want to do, then you should get, because Liang is a really, really fun unit. If you need a star DPS because you don't have any, and due to a penetration rate from Banish Evil S1, actually makes her very suitable for a lot of content. Like all the mains bulletin, she can get 10 million. You don't have to worry about that as well. And yeah, even though the Afflatus is not right, she as star, the enemy is not weak against, the enemy is not mineral, but Liang Yue can still do a lot of damage due to the penetration. So you can consider getting that. But if you think that her kit is just too complex, too many things to think about, when to use what incantation, not only just when, but where to use the incantation, in the green zone, in the red zone, and you find that all too difficult and too complex for you, skip Liang Yue. Okay, yeah, you don't really need her to clear content. I think you should be fine. So that's all for this video. Alright, thank you very much for watching and have a good day.